And welcome back everybody to Let's Play 35 plus years of Advanced Squad Leader. It is a Monday, so that means Rob's with us. Hello Rob.
Hello, Jabo. Hello, everybody.
We have
Good to
got,
be back.
especially in these circumstances, um, w- we've got ourselves a little bit of a kerfuffle due to a couple reasons. One, I had made a little bit of a snafu here. Um, But thankfully, we are able to fix it super fast. So this scenario is the Bloody Saber. For anybody who's a very long time subscriber slash watcher, you'll know that On All Fronts has been a provider of at least, I believe, two other scenarios so far. One of them being from World War One, and another one I believe being a very just like rare occasion between the German and French. Now, On All Fronts, as has been discussed before, has had quite a few scenarios that have either remained unpublished or are unpublished for reasons of being test scenarios and that sort of thing. Um, I'm not quite sure how the Bloody Saber, the scenario we're playing today, is going to fall within that category, but it does feel a little bit like it's a test scenario. And if you're asking yourselves why, well, the simple answer is because the Germans essentially have a locked setup. Everything we see here on the map for the Germans is as they are supposed to be. So there are wagons that does it say what direction they're supposed to face? Covered arc RS6.
Actually,
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
prescribed covered arc.
yeah.
Yes,
That too. All right.
and
S6
the guns
S7.
have to be limbered. So, literally every decision and every unit is covered with first fire and is pinned.
Yeah, so there's those unfortunately there's those things that are also active here. And is this so the only thing I'm slightly confused by is oh, I think that one's six. Yeah, okay, this guy's in the wrong spot. This guy is in T. Is there anybody else?
What do we got, guys, in the wrong spot?
Oh no, wait, I'm looking at it. See, again, it's because there's so many. No, no, we're good. Okay, okay. It's just so Q is R5, R6, so he's pointed upwards. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm just being a dork. Never mind. This would be, yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Cool. All right. So as I was saying, it's a locked setup. So everybody that we see on the map for the Germans is prescribed where they're supposed to be. The wagons have a specific covered arc, which makes a lot of sense. I was looking at the wrong way because the S6 covered arc T56. That's what got me. Um, so the additional thing, as Rob mentioned, they're all first fired, and for the most part, outside of I believe the wagons technically can't be pinned, but everybody's pinned, everybody's first fired, which essentially just means that oh, also the wagons are in motion. I guess it's something to get
I
counters
think I
for.
put the motion counters out, but maybe not. No.
I don't see them, but you can't like shortcut them to have in motion, so that's not a problem. I'll just mark them. It's not like they're gonna be doing anything anyways, but whatever. They don't even. It's strange too because they don't even move like regular vehicles. So I think it's just to give them a little bit of extra protection. But I don't really know if that's necessary. Anyways, so because the Germans set up in this very particular fashion, it does mean that your options as the German are completely out of your hands. Um, the Polish, on the other side, are all forced to set up south, so to the right of hex row AA. They also, this is one of those scenarios as well that says south of Hexro AA, so they can't actually set up on Hexro AA. It's something to specify, especially because this is an older scenario and it doesn't have that inclusivity thing that you generally see in other scenarios. There are snipers as well, so can't forget snipers in this. The Polish sniper is a sniper 2 with ELR 4. The Germans have a sniper of 2 with ELR 4. So basically, we're the exact same both ways.
Now, I may have not set up the info tab.
Oh, that's fine. I'll do it real
I
quick.
did. I did not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. 4-4 and 2-2 with allies move first. Cool. So the we can all see the lovely 10-2. There's 3-8-1 leaders, so the Polish are pretty well stacked. There are just a handful of special scenario rules in this case. We've already gone over the German infantry support weapons start pinned and first fired, so that's in effect. Additionally, X6 is open ground. I think it's like originally a brush or something. Or
It was
actually,
actually a building.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's why. Yeah, building makes more sense. Um, no quarter is in effect for both sides, so hopefully that's not going to hurt routes too much, which I haven't even begun thinking about. And EC is moderate with no wind at start. This is a very short scenario, 5 turns, although I'm surprised it's 5. You could probably shorten it to 3 and it would still make sense. Victory conditions in this one is to win, the Polish player must have at least twice as many CVPs as the German. Any Pole which has not exited the board at game's end is considered eliminated, so they'll count for German CVP. They need not be mounted and may exit off any board edge, but all Polish units must exit off the same edge. So presumably you're never going to pick the north side. There's no reason to pick the north side. But it also encourages a sort of hit and run tactic where the Polish are going to almost certainly charge into the Germans, smash them as hard as they can, and then turn 2 will potentially run off the board. I think it's also worthwhile to mention specifically that the Polish have no support weapons in this scenario. So the only thing that they have really available to them to start with is to charge. And we'll probably see a lot of that from Rob.
Yes, indeed.
If you're ever worried about how cavalry rules work, just play this scenario.
That's it. That's it. Maybe foreshadowing my strategy with certain red counters appearing in the margin.
Are you allowed to? Oh, any nationality may make a cavalry wave. You know what? Never mind. You are definitely allowed.
Yes, indeed. Any one of these crazy people can do crazy things. That's right.
Oh, and yeah, because yeah, I guess it'll be your turn to roll for um weather. This is weather, the word I'm struggling there for somehow. I can't imagine you'll have rally or prep fire. So feel free to do all of your worst in this case. Um,
Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're going to declare a cavalry wave. We're going to declare it along the alternate hex grain from this leader, like so.
mm-hmm.
And the participants shall be, or not from that leader, from the 8-0 underneath him.
Sure.
Just put him over there so that it's obvious. And he's not in the hex. Great. So let's grab one guy there. Move them up. so we got that guy with a squad. One squad from here. One squad from there. One squad from there. One squad from there. One squad from there. So it should be a total of 6 squads and 1 leader participating in this cavalry wave.
Sure.
Okay. They will all declare gallop at the beginning of their movement phase
Mm-hmm.
for 20 wonderful movement points. All right. So, first impulse.
Oh yeah, there's nothing I can do. And for viewers at home, I think there's also a very important thing that comes into play here, is that because all of I mean, I guess technically it's not the end of the world because I've first fired, but um, the mandatory fire for units entering your hex applies no matter what. So no matter what happens, I'm, I'm a little boned here because essentially, if 2 units enter any hex, their final protective fired, as long as it's subsequent, like 2 different impulse movements. So.
Right, right. And final protective fire against cavalry is halved as area fire. Or, yeah. So it's not a great situation.
Well, if you're in the hex, it'll no matter what, it'll be triple point blank
Tripled,
halved.
but then you're pinned and area fired, so you just never get off a great shot.
Oh yeah. Like it's what do we got here in terms of
It's just
squads?
the goofiest
4.
turn ever. So we'll see how it goes. But if we have a turn of die rolling like we had last week, this game will end in the movement phase of turn 1.
Exactly. Um, yeah. So for squads, since I think all the Germans outside of like a couple, there seems to be one half squad, and everybody else is like 228s. Outside of that, it's all 467s. So the 467s are essentially on the first shot that any unit gets into their hex. We'll be doing 4, tripled to 12, and then half twice. Once for pinned, and then once for first fired. So we're looking at a 3 firepower. Everybody's going to be 3 down 2. The cavalry, it'll be a 3 against just the horses themselves. And the riders will get a -2 on that. So that's it. That is the only firepower shots I can do for anything on turn 1 for the Polish.
So we are, because we're in a wave. This guy expended 2, so everybody else that moves, it's 2. So 2.
Yeah. The only thing to be careful is with because of the human wave. I guess technically in some instances they have to like go around, or their movement's going to be a little weird. Because for example, DD2 can't go. You can't gallop into woods.
Right, but he can move a side hex.
Yeah, you can go
because he's
one.
going closer to the human wave direction mark.
Yeah, there's that. You can always go one away, and then you have to go closer.
And that's what this marker is for. Anybody who increases their distance
Mhm.
from the charge direction gets marked with that and can't do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so okay, so that's that guy.
I'm actually the more I look at it, the more I'm surprised that there's not a cavalry charge counter.
Yeah, I was trying to find one, and of course my counter selection skills are at their usual level. Why won't you just stack with these guys, please? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that's 2. And this guy is going to be that guy, and that guy. 2 to CC2. This guy. 2 to CC2. Please, God, will you stop doing this to me? There we go. And did he move? And he will be 1, 2, and will stay in the hex for this impulse. Okay, first impulse done.
Sounds good.
Next impulse. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. And 3.
3 it is.
So, it's so dumb, it's magnificent. Okay. Moving to 4. 4. 4. Four. 4. 4. Everybody move.
Well, I'm still shaking in my boots.
All right. 5. Let's get this party started. Moving it.
Are you still paying just 1 to get into the
No, that is 4.
3 simultaneous?
3
simultaneously
for
with the cost. Gotcha. With the cost.
3 for the charge and 1 for the open crown. Yeah.
Gotcha. So that'll bring it up to what, 7 or 8? Or are you at 5? And then, because I think you were at 4.
So 4, right? So
then 8. Yeah.
8.
Oh, you know what you should do? I'm just gonna do this just for sanity's sake. So I'm gonna move that 1 unit back, and we'll take this off. That way, it makes way more sense for the impulses. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So he moved the impulse. He moved the impulse. He moved. He moved. He moved. He moved.
Perfect. So, as discussed earlier, there's only 1 shot or shots I can do, really, because I don't want to take adjacent shots because those are silly. So, we'll just do AA6 first. It's a 3 firepower shot. 7 on a 3 does nothing against the cavalry themselves, but a 5 is a normal morale check. Now I do need to we do need to check this here. So cavalry wave, all units gallop, average 1 MMC per hex. Morale of cavalry does not increase during cavalry wave. Important.
It does not. No.
Yeah, okay. And then you don't have to end its movement phase when entering an enemy occupied hex, which makes a lot of sense.
It's not like a human wave in that those guys are done. They can keep being annoying.
Right.
So their wave attack is over, but their movement phase is not over.
Yeah. And
which is pretty interesting.
Is there anything else?
Okay, so I need to take a morale check, yes?
Yep, it's just a normal morale check against the guy in AA6. So he's fine. And then Z5, same idea. Okay, well, that'll cower to
He's,
1.
he's starting already.
It'll cower to 1, but that's still a KIA because it's a 0. The horse would be eliminated, and we'd do all that jolly fun stuff. But those two are finaled. There is no residual now possible for the guy in Z5 because he cowered.
Right.
And
Right.
all right, so that's those guys done.
Okay, so resolving cavalry charge, so it's a 12 flat.
That's right, because it's tripled with no modifiers.
Triple no mods, yeah.
There's not even there's nothing for if you're in the open.
I I don't think so. Because it's not an overrun.
Yeah, but I guess it just feels weird for cavalry to not get that bonus, you know? After
I don't
undergoing,
think so. I mean, is it possible that I mean, there's nothing. I read the cavalry charge rules right before we played. It didn't say anything. I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
there's
I don't
any
see anything either for it.
IFT. I don't see anything. Yeah.
I just think it's weird because you would think that if they're in the open ground, that cavalry maybe it's just like already too strong or something, but whatever.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, they are tripled. Right. I mean, if it was an overrun, there'd be an adjustment, but
yeah, like if maybe they did
it's not.
tripled and halved, so then I could see like a 6 down one makes sense. Um,
Right. 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 The
but
fact that it's tripled without the halving. Yeah.
mm-hmm. But that's still an 8 on 12, which is a 1 morale check. And my guys will pass it miraculously.
I'm
All,
not sure it's a miracle with my experience with your die rolls.
I'm starting to wonder. I'll be honest.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that was the 8 factor wave. Let's go to 12. Ooh, hit that guy.
Well, technically, you could get one closer. You don't have. Do you have to get into it if you're adjacent to an enemy hex?
He
I
he
guess because
he
it's
was
human wave.
he's allowed to attack you on a side hex. He doesn't have to. He could have moved closer.
There's no mandatory like you have to go in like a human wave.
Oh, it's a human wave in every um,
But a human wave, you have to go in if you're adjacent, right?
right, right. Oh, I thought you were talking about the human wave direction.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's a
no.
human wave. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just meant like the guy in Z4 has to go into Z5. He can't ignore that, right?
right,
Gotcha,
exactly.
gotcha. Well, at this point, why would you not have if it costs all the same, right? Why not have the guy in AA6 go to Z6?
Yeah, well, so the guy in AA6, his movement phase is not over,
Yeah.
but he's not part of the cavalry wave anymore. So
No?
he's going to declare a cavalry charge, but he can't charge somebody that's less than 3 hexes away from him.
But you can continue the charge, no?
Oh, he may be. That is a good point. Let me.
Oh, even declaring another charge against that look. So, because it says in post resolution, so maybe I'm just misunderstanding this. After resolving its charge attack, cavalry may remain mounted in its current hex, dismount, or enter another location, even declaring another charge against that location, provided it has sufficient movement factors remaining to do so.
Okay, okay. So he doesn't have to declare another charge. Okay, so
Well, so I guess maybe the idea is that you have to declare an because it says even declaring another charge against that location when it says entering another location. Um, a unit that declared a charge in its movement phase may not attack, etc. during the ensuing advanced fire phase, even if currently dismounted. At the end of its movement phase, yeah. Okay, so we get that,
right.
sure. Um,
Yeah, so yeah, he'll declare another charge. Why not? That's what they're all gonna do. They can.
Yeah, because my understanding is like if you had enough points, there's no reason not to have this guy continue, and then if you could, you get him to W6 as an example.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, yeah. So that's he's going to declare a charge against.
I think W6 is technically the maybe X5, but I don't know how that
X5, I
works.
think, is the closest he can charge. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be the closest is the thing.
No, no, but it has to be 3 hexes away.
Yeah. I think it's just cuz in my head when I'm thinking about it, I guess yeah, you'll still be able to do it cuz I'm just thinking like in terms of the perspective, like it makes more sense to go for W6 if you know what I mean because of the way that you'd have to move, whereas you can't move into Y6 to get to X5. I don't think.
Oh, that's right. He's not part of a wave anymore. So he's going to, yeah, he'll declare his charge to W6.
Well, so that's another question is can you cuz
I'm going to read cavalry wave again just to make sure that's not different.
if oh, that is very interesting because if hmm
All right, good order, free to move, blah, blah, blah. Everybody gets
because
that.
the problem is you can't be part of the wave if anybody else is within 3 hexes of an enemy unit. So technically, if he's not part of a cavalry wave, then is that like is the implication that because a human wave you go into the enemy and then you're stuck. So
Right, you're stuck there and you can't do anything else. That's right.
exactly. So is a cavalry wave supposed to represent the same thing because it's supposed to be a human wave? So if you are cavalry, maybe you are stuck. Because the ending the human wave part
Oh, you know
A25
what? Because we didn't, right, you weren't eliminated or broken or anything. So let me see. All right.
because in a regular charge you can continue charging after you've charged the initial.
Right. I think he's stuck there in CC. I think because you're marked with a CC counter when you're part of a wave, right? So I think we just marked that close combat and he's even though it's a cavalry charge, it's part of the wave. I think that supersedes, right? Am I interpreting that correctly?
Uh, if it remains in an enemy occupied location, it is not yet considered in melee, although it may attack and can be attacked in the upcoming CC, and should be marked with a CC counter. Um, Morale doesn't increase. At least one has to be each charging. You don't need to end your movement phase. So yeah, because the one thing is like each charging unit need not end its movement phase upon entering an enemy occupied hex. But I guess you can wave, go through the hex, but you wouldn't be able to redeclare a charge because by the rules of the charge and the cavalry wave, you can't be within a number of hexes to an enemy unit because then you're no longer because you'd no longer be in the impulse of the wave, but you would have to do impulses, but your movement phase isn't ended, and if you end it you have no more movement phase anymore. So so I guess all this to say is that the unit can still move, but I don't think you can charge a second time, and you can choose to stop moving if you want. You can also choose to dismount since you have the movement points for it. I believe that's part of what the charge implies or states specifically, is that you can dismount if you want.
Okay, so let's see. All right. After undergoing all attack, it then attacks its target, right? Neither have them. All right. Thereafter, it need not declare a further charge during that movement phase until it actually enters a new target hex. Each charging unit attacks separately unless moving as a stack or wave, which with greater than 11, in which case they attack together. Okay, so
And then post resolution says after resolving its charge attack, cavalry may remain mounted in its current hex, dismount, or enter another
Or enter
location.
another location.
But post resolution, not that part invalidates cavalry wave, but the charging a different location, I think is meant for charge singular, because the rules behind a charge is that you can't, again, you can't declare a charge if you're closer, but you're part of a wave, and the wave has to obey. You know what I mean? The wave has to obey its own
Yeah,
distance
they
rules.
should have clarified that last sentence. Each charging unit need not end its movement phase upon entering an enemy occupied hex. So does that mean need not end its movement phase, but still a cavalry wave? You follow it? Like it says that in the cavalry wave paragraph, not in the charge paragraph.
I think
So
it's
does
strictly just
so
you can continue the move. You just can't declare a second charge while.
I'm interpreting it completely differently. I think it's a human wave that doesn't have to end.
Yeah. But the charge part is a different part, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I don't think. I think the charge rules are irrelevant right now. I think the question is he stuck in CC and AA6, or can he keep going as part of the cavalry wave? And I think he keeps going.
no, you can keep going.
Un,
Yeah.
un,
I'm not.
Unlike infantry, I think he could just keep going,
I
which is like super neat.
I am 100% agreeing that you can continue. I'm just saying that the wave
But
itself,
not. But he can't
you
come out
can't.
of the wave and declare a new charge. Can't do that, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that you can't make a second attack as part of the wave. That's what I'm saying.
I think he can move right into Z5 right now.
But he's not going to be able to. But he's not attacking Z5
He sure is. Why wouldn't he be?
because the charge is done. So then you have to declare a second charge. See what I mean? Because it's not like overrun. You need to build that speed up again because you've already smashed into a unit. But you can't, like,
Each charging unit need not end its movement phase upon entering an enemy occupied hex. What
but it's
I'm
not.
not reading anything ambiguous into that.
But I'm because charge is not based off of. It's not to charge. You have to be within range. You have to be within LOS. You have to gallop, right? But the wave
Right,
set,
and we did all those
yeah,
things,
yeah, yeah,
right?
right. But cavalry wave, right, states that you can't be within 3. But if anybody in the wave is within 3, then you can't charge a second unit. You see what I mean?
But I'm reading it entirely differently. Thereafter, it need not declare a further charge during that movement phase until it actually enters a new target hex. Each charging unit attacks separately unless moving as a stack or cavalry wave with greater than one other cavalry unit, in which case they attack together. It's never saying they can't keep going, right? Is that not what cavalry does? They roll up the lines?
But the difference is the attack part. They can keep moving. That I completely agree with. But for them to get 6 hexes of attacks, you see what I mean? That doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
remember, every hex costs 4 movement points.
For sure, but it's still like grossly overpowered. Like, that's not how the charge is meant to work.
I am going to fundamentally disagree with you. I don't see anything that says the attack stops. In fact, it explicitly states the opposite, that they can attack another location and that they don't have to stop their movement, unlike a human wave.
But
It says both things.
it's not, it's not about stopping its movement. That's my point. Is that you can keep moving, but you can't just
But
attack
it's
on
the
all.
cavalry charge says you can go into another location.
Sure, but a charge tells you that you have to declare a charge again.
Thereafter, it need not declare a further charge. It's not saying you can't declare a further charge. It's explicitly saying you can until it actually enters a new target hex. So it would move into Z5, which is a new target hex, and declare a charge.
But
Why not?
the declaring a charge, right? Like post resolution, enter another location.
Declare a charge.
I'm
Is that
just
not what it says in the paragraph? ASL strikes again.
yeah. Now I'm just wishing for clarification because the way that I understand it is that because when it says enter another location, even even declaring another charge against that location, so you have to declare a charge, provided it has sufficient blah blah blah. We get that part. It can be attacked, blah blah blah. A unit that declared a charge in the movie may not attack, blah blah blah. We get that part. Only thing that to me doesn't make any sense here is that when it says enter another location and it says even declaring another charge against that location, that part is so ambiguous that I'm starting to hate it. But but because you're declaring a charge, that's the sticking point here. That's bugging the hell out of me. Because if you're declaring a charge, so you have to go to 13.6, and the declaring a charge says you have to be 3 or further hexes away from it.
Right, which we were when we started the turn. Right,
Right, but when you're
I'm
declaring a second charge,
on. Like, what's confusing me is how the wave changes the charge. Because it really all it's doing is giving us impulse movement, right? Because it says you don't have to stop.
so you're doing impulse movement, you do just like human wave, but you can continue going after you've hit your first location. But you I guess I'm just surprised it doesn't explicitly state, probably because to me it's referring to 13.6 of saying like if you want to hit a second unit with a charge, you have to declare charge a second time, which means you have to be 3 hexes away.
But it doesn't say it specifically says thereafter, meaning after the initial, whatever, all of the above. It need not declare a further charge until it actually enters a new target hex. Right? Am I reading too much into that? You think?
So, because thereafter, it need not declare a further charge during that move phase until it actually enters a new target hex. But because you're saying until it actually enters a new target hex, so it has to declare a charge, right?
That I mean, that's how I'm interpreting it. Is if he goes into Z5, he has entered a new target hex and declares a charge. Right? And by so doing,
But
I mean, just what would that? So this would go to 16.
wouldn't,
Okay.
because hold on, but if you have to, because you don't have to declare until you get to the new target hex, which to me sounds more like you don't have to pre-designate where you're going, but you still have to declare a charge, which you still have to be 3 hexes away. Man, they really didn't write that to make, and they didn't give what do they have? Does their example say anything about this? Defensive versus
That's a
Starfire.
good question. Let's look for the example.
Because I would hope that the example would specify the
Charge,
continue
blah, blah,
part
blah. Defensive first fire, right. It moves it to
into a
level
horse, 2
5.
morale check, it deploys.
Subsequent, which reduces, right. Remaining pays 4 and enters K5, makes this mandatory with 6, but rolls an original 10.
Is there not
Now makes it 6 charge attack, which is resolved immediately. But they didn't address what happens after.
is there not a, if I go to my official rule book, does
Right?
it say?
It said 13.61, first sentence. Or enter another location, even declaring another charge against that location, provided it has sufficient movement for factors remaining to do so. I think it's explicitly saying that this is how it works.
Where was the last one?
The first sentence of 13.61.
Yeah, so the other thing that's really annoying here is because it says enter another location, but when it says another location, right? Are we talking about an adjacent location or a location that's 3 hexes away? Because where is?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just reading it at face value, right? I've entered. I did not stay in the hex, right? Which has its own system, right? We get marked with a CC. La 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 la. I have sufficient movement factors,
Mm-hmm.
so I can even declare another charge against entering another location, which is precisely what I would do.
I'm trying to see if there's a cheat sheet somewhere for cavalry. A cavalry primer for, I'd have to look up annual 1987. I'm gonna see if I can spot that super quick. In the meantime, though,
Sure, sure. I'm going to take a 1 minute bio break while you do that. Is that okay?
sure. Also, roll sniper
Oh,
because I
uh,
did roll a 2.
oh, ha!
Well, you're gonna get a
Ah,
sniper.
something's going to happen. Yeah, I wasted
A
a
one.
perfectly good snake eyes.
Where
1-1.
that go? Well, it'll shoot. Uh, yeah, that can't. I guess it just repins them. Man, that sucks because well, actually no, that could wound the guy. Yeah, you know what?
Oh yeah, you got a
That's the
leader
only.
there. Yeah.
Well, so that's the only thing that can happen. I'll roll for wound. You go do your bio break, and I'll check for the cavalry thing.
Okay, be right back.
Yep. Man, that's a bit of a bummer because I was hoping that it would be way more straightforward on the cavalry stuff, and for whatever reason, it did not want to be. Cavalry movement, horses, attacking the cavalry, the charge. In order to charge, cavalry must be galloping or declare gallop at the charge's inception. Cavalry must have LOS to a known enemy occupied location, must be able to enter that location while at a gallop. Charging cavalry cannot cross a combination crest line. The only other restriction is that the cavalry must be 3 or more hexes away from the charge. From the target, sorry. Location when the charge is declared. Cavalry proceeds to target location which it must enter if it survives unbroken all intervening defensive first fire. It simultaneously pays cost of terrain plus an additional 3 to enter the target's location where the target unit, if unbroken, must attack the charging cavalry using triple point blank fire. This is considered final protective fire regardless of whether. Wait, this is considered final protective fire regardless of whether the oh yeah. As usual with final protective fire, the original IFT die roll is used as normal morale check. So then that automatically and right, okay, so that was that shot. I was already pinned, so I couldn't have been affected. Okay, cool. So we got all those right.
Hey,
Um,
I'm back.
yeah, welcome back. I will
Find
do.
anything that helps us?
Not yet, but I'm just getting there essentially. As usual, final protective fire. Fire's original IFT counts as a normal morale check. Cavalry should survive unbroken. May now make a triple point blank fire with Molotov being the only sport weapons they can use. You don't get anything for CX. Post charge. For the remainder of its movement phase, cavalry has several options. It may remain mounted, yeah, in the same location, dismount if it's sufficient movement factors. Either way, marked with CC. It may also continue its movement, may even charge another enemy location if it wishes, without having, the thing, without having to declare another charge until actually entering the enemy's location, which that bugs me as a sentence. When it's completed, marked with, but that's only charge, not wave. Let's see if there's anything else here. Getting the most out of your cavalry. There's an entire page where I don't really know if it's talking about the wave or not. Sound the charge. Aside from its mobility, the most potent weapon is cavalry is the charge. A key element, successful charge planning preparation. Pick your point. Has your opponent left some units? Okay, so this is just does it not have anything about waves? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. They don't. The article on cavalry does not have anything about cavalry wave. Huh. Charges can be especially devastating. Units can't defend themselves. Keep in mind VC when you conduct cavalry wave. They don't have a single thing on wave. Well, you want to flip for it? I think that's the only way to get
After
rid of this
all
argument.
that, you think this is a flip?
I still
That
it
sounds like wishful thinking to me.
the it
But
really
absolutely,
it
we can flip it.
it really I honestly really believe it it really bugs me about the declaring a charge versus the wave, because the wave has to move together and you can't move in a different direction from the wave.
No, well, he moved in a front hex towards the human wave direction, so that was perfectly legal move as far as the human wave goes.
I don't know. I think because I think at a like, to me the idea is like your cavalry hit a location and then they have to gain speed again and all that. But
And that is the. Are you a Napoleonics gamer, my friend? Cavalry rides down the lines. They're not bouncing off of people.
yeah, but you don't have swords. That's not what this is. Yeah, you got guns and stuff. You gotta slow down to shoot. I am just legitimately surprised. There's not a single. Is there any Spilky ASL tables? Probably don't have anything in cavalry. Do they have anything in cavalry? Of course not.
I absolutely, I absolutely, absolutely agree with you that cutting that sentence in half and just saying the cavalry may continue to attack if it has the movement factors to do so would have probably been a lot clearer than what they actually say.
Yeah, like it.
But I think that
it
between the charge, I think that I would argue that the charge rules are pretty definitive. That you can charge an adjacent location because it literally says if you have the movement factors to do so, you can. And the human wave says, as a condition, you must conduct at least one charge attack. So there's no either or, human wave or charge. The human wave just gives us impulse movement. And with cavalry, no other benefit, right? We don't get the +1 morale.
Cause the sticking point to me is just because it says charge and it says you have to be 3 hexes away from charge. Even if you, because I understand like you can keep moving and you can enter somebody else's hex and declare a charge, but then you're not observing the rule of charge, which is you have to be 3 hexes away.
Right. But there's a rule for post initial resolution, right? Which says you can continue and you can do another charge if you enter another location. I mean, I'm having a hard time with the idea that this rule could be better, but it seems pretty clear to me. Post resolution, if it has sufficient movement factors remaining to do so,
but
it can enter another location, even declaring a charge, provided it has the movement factors.
sure, but because the enter another location isn't adjacent location, and that's what's like part of it that's bugging me. Because you could enter another location.
But why does, I mean, enter another location, right? It doesn't, I mean, does that require, like, does it have to say non-adjacent location? I don't, I don't think it's ambiguous at all. I'm being honest with you.
No, I get it, but to me, like saying enter another location could be 6 hexes away, and that makes sense as you could charge 6 hexes away. You know what I mean?
Right. I hear what you're saying, but this is, I mean, it doesn't actually say anything like that, right? It says enter another location, which in the game has a pretty clear meaning, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Roll just do your text, whatever. At this point, I'm tired of you and looking at it. I'm already tired today, and
Let me
fuck it.
finish the impulse before we do attacks, because that. So he would go there for 4. And let's see.
I'm honestly surprised that's never shown up in a QA though. Or is that not a QA thing? And how does this annual have an entire article on charges and not a single damn thing on waves?
There. And they'll. Come on, please. And they'll go there. What's up, honey? Okay, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Sports. Okay. Love you.
No, that's yes.
That's 16, my friend. That's it.
You say that's it, but there's more. There's at least one other move after that. You can't say that's it. Z5 has to shoot again. So he'll break. That's on 3, so nothing will happen. I'll just toss that down there. And then
I think the rule said they have to attack together, so 24 flat.
that's. I mean, it sounds right, but either way, it's no matter what, it'd be a morale check, a pretty crazy morale check. K4. He is a half squad, and then is dead.
Only you could pass that morale check.
He didn't pass the morale check.
Oh, he didn't?
No, because
Oh,
the
no.
casualty reduction happens first.
Right. I thought, and I thought you rolled it too, so my bad. All right. You got another shot, right?
Yep. X5. Cowards won't matter. Yeah, won't matter whatsoever. And breaks.
All right. So we get 12 flat.
7 and 12, 1 morale check. He's a half squad now.
Okay. And that is it for the 16 block. Now we have the same situation, right? If left to my own devices, right, we're going to go to 20. And we're going to do the whole mess again. Boom. 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 One hex, one counter move. Boom and boom and. Oh no, he has to go there as well. He just won't go in the stack no matter what I do. Let's get rid of the one. Let's try again. There we go. Far away.
They're in Y6, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they should be. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no worries. Wait, are those guys on horseback? Those guys
You guys
are
are
on horseback. So they are. Does that add half?
Now, do you have to be mounted? I don't think you do.
It doesn't strictly say.
I think it says he doesn't have to be mounted.
No, all units in Y6 must be mounted, but are otherwise unrestricted.
Oh,
So
okay. So
mounted.
he is mounted. Okay.
So that's interesting, because why would they mark him as pinned? They shouldn't be marked pinned then. It's not
He can't be pinned. He's on horseback.
It's not really gonna matter. Well, actually, okay, that's. Does it say that?
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. I understand. I understand what the problem is. So, because technically they wouldn't be even marked first fire because they're not infantry; they're cavalry at this point. So they don't. They wouldn't observe that.
Ah.
Now, there's no point to ever shoot outside, and also on horseback, you are halved. Like you're. It's not treated as pinned or first fired, but technically you're still having that apply. So, man, what's the math on this guy? Right. So the math on this guy is 3 triple blank fire, which is over to 9, which is then halved to 4.5, because he is horseback. So it's a 4.5 down 3. I think that makes the most sense. Okay. 4.5. It's not going to do anything to the horses. The horses are fine. It's 2 morale check.
2 morale check. So yeah. We're in
Y6. Yeah. Yeah, because the leader's -1 to add to it. I don't think anybody else is. Do I even have any other leaders that have a minus? I don't think so. Nope.
1, 2, 3.
So top guy's fine. Wait, you have 4 guys in there?
Oh, wow. Okay, so stacking for cavalry is the same as for infantry. Now let's see. So the guys from Z6. Well, they were all adjacent, so they would have to move in, right? Although, so I could take one guy that was in Y5 and put him on X5, sure, so as to avoid stacking. I'll just do that if that's okay.
Well, you know, you're using all the rules against me, and now you're... No, that's fine. Yeah, so you just have one guy that suffers an issue, so the middle guy will break, so he's got to bail out.
Oh, was it a normal morale check or one?
It was a 2 morale check.
2 morale? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he busted, so he breaks.
So he breaks...
He has to bail out.
Yeah. And then the horse is considered gone. Because it's
Right, and the horse is
bolted.
considered scattered or destroyed.
Yeah. So it takes a bailout normal morale check.
Yeah. And the bailout roll.
No, yeah, he's fine.
He doesn't die. All right. All right. So the two guys who lived are, they have to combine, so 24 flat.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days I'll roll a number below a 7. It'll
Yeah,
happen. You'll see.
I'm going to be very scared at that point. 9 on 24, 2 morale checks. So leader first. He'll break, and the other guy breaks. So these guys break, which means they have to jump the horse. First guy will take a morale check. Leader's fine. Half squad is dead.
That they're at a movement factor, so we take to get them wave off. Take this one. All right. X5. Oh, you guys busted already. All right. 24 flat.
Mm-hmm.
An 8. Okay.
It's a morale check of some sort. It's definitely a +1, so he's dead.
All right. And we still have W6. You got a guy in there.
Yep. 3 down 2, 4. It's not going to do anything to the horses. Pretty standard there. But a 4 on 3 is a 1 morale check.
1 check on Maduder. He's okay. And he'll take a... He's riding under his horse. Nice job. He'll take a 12 flat back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Not under a 7. I'm consistent.
1 check. Yeah, he's super dead.
Yay. Okay. Wave is over. That was a ball, huh? Now for the second part of my grand plan. I still have the rest of the guys. So let's see, do we want to declare another wave attack? Or do we want to just charge these guys? I think we just want to charge. How many casualties have we caused? 338 still a half squad, right?
For me, you're saying? Yeah, 338s are half squads.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out. So 3 full squad equivalents. And that guy's a full squad. All right. BB1.
Sure.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Declare charge.
Sure. So now you're galloping, or are you galloping at the start?
He's galloping. I'm sorry.
Cool. Yeah, you're good on all movement. There's nothing I can do. I can't. I won't be able to.
4. Charging.
Sounds good. So you take a 1. I guess a 1 down 2 in residual first. Nothing happens. Then I have to do final. Nothing happens. He breaks.
And then we'll hit him with 12 minus 2. 12 minus 1, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Definitely gotta be a morale check of some sort. That's a 7 on 12, 1 morale check. I'm at 6. He survives out of dumb luck.
That's awful. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Oh, taking friends with us.
Yeah, don't steal my guys.
Stealing
They haven't
goods.
surrendered yet. You don't get to do that.
8. Uh, 9. 10. 11. 12. Fire charge. 13. 14. 18.
Well, you're one down two. Nothing.
12 down 1. Still not under a 7.
He's halved.
All right. Mountain. 20. Let's look at it this way. Let's just assume everybody you shoot in your turn is going to die. Let's just make that assumption. Nobody can rout. Everybody's probably going to die. So that's going to be 3 squads. I don't think you can get all 5 of them. How much more damage do we need to do? Oh, why not? Let's have some fun. Galloping as always.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5 declare charge. 6, 7, 11.
Okay. I don't think. Is there anything else? Well, I guess I have to shoot the LMG with them. So, did I not click on the right button? Okay, so it's actually a different number because it's not a 3 anymore. So that is 7 tripled to 21, halved to a 10.5, and then halved again to 575. I think that's the right number. So there's no
5 shot.
Yeah, so there's no 5.5, so it's a 5. It's down 6 on 5. I don't do anything to the horses once more. Down 2. 4 on 5 is a 2 morale check.
Right. Leader. Yeah, I'm back to my usual tricks. This was a mistake. Guy good, guy not good. All right.
All you need is one guy to get through.
He breaks.
That's what really matters.
Horse dies. Leader dismounts, but we don't have to do anything to the other horse for the leader. Leader is broken.
Yeah, 2 guys take extra morale checks for bailing out, and then the other guy gets a good 12 shot.
Bailing out guy. Bailing out leader.
Oh, they're both fine.
Okay. And then 12 flat. Jesus Christ.
Nothing. Jesus.
Miss. It's just a flat miss.
Somehow in the history of ASL, so 30 plus years, 35 plus years, maybe even 40 at this point, there is not a single article dedicated entirely to waves. Not even not even human wave, apparently. Human wave? If I do human, I don't see a single damn
Oh
one.
my gosh.
So not only
All right.
has there never been a human wave one, which that I don't understand. This must presumably this must be out of date. Either there's never been one on human waves, or they've never done a human wave one, and they've never done a cavalry wave one, which I don't understand. Maybe we'll get something from Marco Polo Bridge.
All right. So that's 11. So 15. They'll continue the charge into this hex.
All
Fire
right,
away.
3 down 2. Nothing, it'll break them.
All right. And another 12 flat.
Okay, well, I don't understand.
You know, it's just. Are we using the same random number generator? You know.
Sometimes I have to wonder. I will admit. I think Rutan would support your thesis on this.
All right. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, but now I got broken guys in that hex, which limits our options a bit. But you know, my friend, we've come this far with pure stupidity. We're going to continue. Next, galloping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clearing charge. 6, 7, 11.
Into V5.
Same hex, yep.
Okay. 2 down 2. As the residual. What do we got here? That's 5. Normal morale check. Nothing against the horses themselves.
Leader, dude. Yeah, okay.
Wait. Oh, you had 2 squads. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing, you know, my superpower. 11, 9, 12, 9, 11, 8.
What's your stats? My stats are also rotten, but the -2 is really what's helping me out. Yeah, I have to 8-3. Jesus. Only one roll has been below 7. That's
Yeah, it's been unbelievable.
mm-hmm.
And
Well,
morale checks on the number, so you know that's going to come and go. But
you got 2 bailing outs to do. One for the leader and one for the broken
oh,
squad.
leader, squad, they both take
Squad's
care.
reduced.
No, squad reduces, so that's this squad.
I'm at 3 CVP. And then a 12 firepower shot. 8 on 12, 1 morale check. Leader, definitely broken, and broken. Was that it was just 10? Never mind. He is not ELR. There is a disgusting amount of bodies in that one hex.
Yeah, that hex is it's a mess.
That's one way of putting it.
Right. All right. So that was 11. He has 9 movement points left. So 11. Little. Flare charge. 13, 14, 18.
I don't think there's anything I can do on that.
Well, your guy can't shoot. Oh, he's
He's in the wagon. I don't know if I
wagoned
can
and
shoot.
he's wagoned and halved and halved. All right. So 12 flat.
If I'm
And
in,
that was 18.
if I go to wagon D12, target status, wagon's unarmored vehicle target, average size, blah blah blah. Wagon, horse-drawn transports. Same manner as a truck. So if a truck truck passengers may use mounted fire if they fire attack. Okay, so I can do that might be a 1. So it's 2 to 6 for triple, halved cuz first fire to 3, halved for pin. No, they can't do anything.
I can't do it. Okay.
Cuz they'd be a
All right.
1.5 and then they'd be halved for
To
mounted
three
fire.
quarter.
Yeah, for
Right.
3/4.
Right. Okay. So 12 flat. Let's see
I
what happens.
believe so.
So that does destroy the wagon, right?
Yeah, I think that just kills everybody. I don't know what the I'm not too.
4 on the 12 is a 3 check.
Well, it'll kill.
Oh, but it
Like
does
it kills
destroy
the
the wagon.
wagon, and I don't know what else. I don't really care to figure out what else. Because when you kill a truck, I believe it kills everybody in there. Is there a? If I go
The
for
wagon
show
counts
info,
truck. Is that what it said?
so I would have to roll a 3. I did not roll a 3, so they're all dead. Because
All right.
when you destroy it, I don't know if you can get burning actually, because there's no wreck on a wagon, so I don't think you can burn it specifically. I could be wrong on that one, but I would imagine a non-fuel carrying transportation source would not spontaneously combust.
Yeah, would not spontaneously explode. I think you're probably right there.
You know they do have the artillery ammo in there, but I don't think that necessarily counts. Um, So yeah, I also don't know how the gun status would work, but I'm just gonna treat it as it's dead. I'm not too worried
Yeah,
about it.
I have no idea how that works. All right, so that was what, 18, so 19, 20. He's done. Do I have somebody alive next to the bloodbath hex? I do. Okay. Well, how many? I have 2 squads and a half squad. 2.5 squads broken in there with your guys. I can't even charge it to try and get rid of you guys. There's no advancing for cavalry. So the last guy is a 10 minus 2. Well, let's take 1 squad out of here. They will gallop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What do I have in here? That's a squad. That's a half squad. And 2 leaders. All right. So he will hit your broken guys.
In V5,
In V5.
sure.
16. 12 flat.
Well, he takes the 2 down to residual first.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that.
4 on 2, 1 Rogic.
Oh my gosh. I keep walking into this and breaking. What am I doing? I keep forgetting about the residual.
Honestly, I don't think it's your fault. I think it's just silly IFT rolls on residual. They take
Well, I mean, there is, your die rolls are horrifying as usual.
well, that's the
But I
thing. Like, they're
keep walking into residual thinking it's a free attack when all I had to do was stand next to you and you're dead.
oh, right.
Now now I got to send another squad over there to send next to you, to stand next to you. It's like, it's just dumb. All right, next squad. Not moving into
they
this.
take a morale check for bailing out.
Oh, right, bailing out. Bailing out. He's all right, but his horses are dead. We have killed a lot of Polish ponies. All right, next guy will stop V4 and not walk into any more residual. Not walking into any more residual. And the 10 minus 2, where is he going to go? Can he charge it? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. He can just barely make it. And why not? 10 minus 2 will gallop.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he'll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 declare charge, 14, 15, 19.
Sure.
He's got a 12 minus 2.
Mm-hmm.
4 on the 12, I think, does basically the same thing.
Yeah. It's same as last time. Oops, not what I wanted. Didn't get it. So they're all dead.
All right. Defensive fire. That was.
Can't.
Oh, right.
No. Well, no, because you're.
I think you have one stack that's still under first fire, no?
Yeah, but you can't. I would have to. I can only shoot an adjacent.
Yeah, nobody's adjacent to him. Yeah, that the only thing I did right this turn.
I don't know. You got 13 CVP. I don't really know if I would say it's the only thing you've done right this turn.
Yeah, that's true. And this is just the goofiest scenario of all time.
No, what are you talking about?
Hindsight being 2020, I mean, you're in such a bad position. I'm not sure the cavalry wave was even necessary.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do a cavalry wave. And I still think I would still love for MMP to come out with some clarification on that stuff.
That would be nice, yes.
Just with regards to the cavalry wave. But outside of that, like, yeah, you could just charge everybody individually.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be more careful and start at the end of the line so you don't, let you put a big residual shot down.
Well,
But,
so
yeah, I think fundamentally you can get the same number of attacks either way. You don't need a continuing cavalry wave attack.
yeah, like I think you get more flexibility in doing each individually, and there's not really
And,
there's nothing you
and
can
a
really
lot more
do.
range, right?
Yeah, because you're not the cavalry wave seems more potent when everybody hits the line at the same time because you get to maximize the movement out of them. Which again,
Exactly
which
right.
again ties into like the whole like you hit a group and then can you like how does the charge work because you're paying more and all that sort of stuff.
And typically you declare the wave or the bonsai to force the defender to split fire. In
Yeah,
this situation, with the compromised setup rules, it was irrelevant.
yeah, like to what you were saying just now about like you could pool all of your stuff together and get a big shot, but that's not really feasible either. Like, there's a world in which the way you set up that maybe I decide to, like, if you took everybody in the line and you did one big shot on BB2,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
but like it's out of range of some units and you're pinned on everybody and you're first fired, and even if you get that shot, like you're having it, if it's a bad shot, you've just wasted everybody's protective shot, you know. um I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think there's a world in which the German side needs or wants to take like any masked shot, because it just makes everything else worse.
Right. 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 Yeah. You want to maximize what little firepower they're giving you on turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or at the very least keep you guessing, right? Because I can spend all my shots on something and then you just say, okay, well, I'll just dismount because you're there's nothing that stops you from dismounting, and then you just walk up to
Right.
all my guys.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. This was like an interesting thought exercise. I'm not
mm-hmm.
sure how much fun this was for the Germans. Pretty sure.
I
And you
think
rolled well,
I
right?
think
What
the
if you were the one rolling bad? Forget it.
I think the fun revolves around the wave part.
Yeah, yeah.
which which all that aside, like even if like even if you don't care about that and you just did individual ones, yeah, I think there is, um I think if both sides roll average, everybody's breaking and everybody's dying, and that's not necessarily bad, but it does stress the Polish condition to win because you need to double.
Right. You have to double. Right, right, right.
and and like if you're if the wagons don't get blown up, because the way I was hoping is that, if enough guys survive and you don't ever target the wagons, as soon as I get into my turn on the movement phase, I dismount with all those guys, and I
Right,
and I
right.
limber up right away.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's why my strategy was split the team in half, see what the human wave could soak up all the fire, and then I could selectively, with my minus leaders, take out the most victory points. That's kind
now
of what the thought was.
that I'm thinking about
And
it
then, of
though, can
course, like
you?
an idiot, I walked right into residual twice, and of course, you rolled, you know, fours and sixes and fives and what have you.
Yeah, but that's
But
not,
yeah,
that'll
yeah,
happen to
yeah.
everybody.
Right.
I,
Anyway, yeah. So we get no advance fire because we're cavalry.
yeah, I think the only thing I'm curious about is, can you can't unhook it and unlimber it, can you?
Can you unlimber and fire? I don't think so.
No, no, no. Can you unhook and unlimber at the same time?
Oh, I got right. First, you have to. You're towed, so first you have to.
You have to unhook. That I know for sure. Like, regardless of what gun you have to unhook. But
Right. And then these are not en porte or whatever that rule is. They still have to flip, right?
yeah, see, a crew may to limber such a gun, invert it to its limbered side. Limbering is accomplished by the gun's crew during any fire phase in which the crew could otherwise fire the gun, excluding breakdown as a normal factor. Although neither may fire in the player turn of unlimbering. So can you unhook? If you were to, you would have to advance fire phase. But if you unhook, a stopped vehicle not in bypass may unhook by spending half its points. Sure, sure. Same conditions. That gun's crew may disembark from the vehicle at no extra MF cost. Must remain TI. After being unhooked, certain guns must still be unlimbered before they can be fired. Neither the crew nor the vehicle may fire during the fire phase, moon phase prior to unhooking. Yeah, okay, so I guess that's the problem with the scenario is because they're limbered guns, there's nothing you can they're always gonna get run over. There's nothing you can do for them. So that'd probably be like the one thing I would change is give them some sort of quick setup gun.
Yeah, or just push them, move them back a little, just 6 hexes or something like that. They just don't get ran over on the first turn, or just give you one gun and make let you use it.
I think the because again going back to like the roots of on all fronts and a lot of it is like kind of developmental because this is 92 like the designing a good scenario wasn't necessarily figured out, and that's not to like poo poo on all fronts because as as silly as this scenario is, there's something to I do hold it near and dear to my heart. Like it's silly, but you can put this up. It's a very beer and pretzels. It turns into a very beer and pretzels experience, right? Um, and that being said, I think if you move the guns back, it only makes sense for the rest of the column to be moved back, which then negates a lot of that like striking power that you're hoping for with the Polish. So
Right,
so
right, yeah,
so like simultaneously you're making the setup worse for the Poles that they really need because of the double CVP requirement, and the German guns can't do anything for 2 turns, which by that point like they're kind of the Polish
yeah,
could have attacked and gotten off board in the time that it takes them to unlimber. So I think what it really like what it probably should come down to if I was to ever make a modification to this game or to this scenario I should say is yeah like you just give them like the 75 short or something. Artillery, do they even have one that's not if I select these, no, that has to be limbered. Yeah, I would probably give them one of these two 75s. It's probably the way I would
mm,
go because both of those don't need to limber. They're both quick setup.
got it, got it. So it's just a one-turn penalty, and then they can do something.
Yeah, because at least because I'm dragging 105s, and it doesn't between a 75 and a 105. Uh, doesn't really the receiving end units are either getting blasted with 14 firepower or 21 firepower. I don't think
Yeah,
it's really,
yeah,
it's
it's
not really a
not. And when you consider rate of fire 2 versus rate of fire 1, like that, it almost is. It's better to have the 75 quick setup, right? Well, it is better. Yeah.
well. So the ones up top, they're both quick setup. Um, the
Oh, okay. I thought you were comparing what was in the game and the other one.
No,
Okay.
the one that's there currently is the 105. It's only got a rate of fire of 1.
Ah, okay.
So you could give the 75 the quick setup one, so at least you get something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even still, let's say you the quick setup gun gets to do something. Um, we're done with advanced fireface. Even if the quick setup gun gets to unhook and the crews survived, right? And they get a shot. It's not a guarantee that that shot hits. And then the cavalry, especially in like this example where like you've got R6 and U7, whatever other combination of like them in different hexes, as soon as you move to R7, that's a covered arc change for this guy.
Right.
So it
Right.
doesn't
Right.
the superior mobility of the cavalry still exists, and still has to be respected. So that's just what it. That's the other thing that it comes down to essentially. Um, but uh, routes, because you said there's no advanced fire phase,
Right. We get no advancing fire because we're
so
mounted.
routes is interesting.
Rounds is what is? I don't even begin to understand what's going to happen in the round phase.
So no quarter is in effect. So nobody surrenders. That's the big part. And it
Right.
does mean that if it's possible to use low crawl, then you could still technically do that.
And that's
Um,
probably the only option that my guys are going to have. There is no cover that's not like there's all open ground, right?
yeah. Um, I mean, so there are ways for you to get out, um, because if we let's take this from a right to left perspective, I guess. We'll take off defensive fire because that doesn't matter anymore. So, for example, Y6. You've got one broken squad in Y6. We'll just move the CC counter under him. Um, Legally, his target can be CC5 or Z2.
Right.
I don't think you're allowed to go to CC5 because you're getting closer to AA6. Like, I think you still have to respect the broken unit that's there.
Right.
But you can go to Y5, and I can't interdict. Like, there are no units. Like, this guy's pinned, so he can't exert interdiction.
Oh, right. You're pinned. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So you can get to Z2 with the guys in Y6.
Right.
Sim.
And in fact, that's where he has to go. Right.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. He has to go there.
And then similarly, V5. If those guys were still alive, like if my guys weren't broken, or if like V4 was my guy or whatever, your guys would be dead because they're surrounded by everybody. If my guys in
Right.
V5 were alive, you wouldn't be able to leave the hex. Well, actually, I think you could actually leave the hex because we're not stuck in CC. But you still have the same limits of you have to go to V2 because the closest in movement factories, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think this whole pile has to go up to
They all go to V2,
Victor
and
Four.
then technically you can continue from V2. Same with Z2, because it's connected forest. You can keep
Two,
going.
4, 6, right? And from here it was this
5.
guy was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's done anyway.
Yeah. Um, and I think that's an important thing to distinguish as well. Like S2 and R1, like you could go. Let's say if this guy had infinite, the guy in Z2 had infinite movement factors in routing, you can't go to CC1 because it's not connected to BB2 or BB1. Sorry,
Right, right.
because it's not treated as the same forest. So, like that's a thing that causes a lot of confusion. I find. I feel like I have a good enough grasp on that because they're detached. Now, when it comes to my guys routing, they're basically all dead because this guy can't route anywhere because he's getting closer or going towards your broken guy. So
Right.
another half squad that dies. Over here, he's technically he's in CC, but CC doesn't prevent routing. Um, Really, that's more of a melee thing.
Right. He's
Uh,
not in melee. Right, right,
exactly.
right.
And I can't go anywhere without being adjacent to anybody, so he's also dead. That's 2 points. Um, and then over in W6, now W6 is interesting because I could technically make it to X10, and everybody is on horseback, so they're all halved for mounted fire.
Correct.
So I could
So
go.
W7 is a way out for him, huh?
So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have a choice between V10 and X10. Actually, I don't think I can pick V10. Uh, I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm fine going to V10, but I wouldn't be able to go anywhere else because I'm out of points. And if I had more points, I can't go anywhere because I'm getting close to this guy. Please. Right. Is this gonna go to V10? There we go. This stack in V5, same idea as before. They're dead. They can't go anywhere without getting adjacent to anybody. So there's another 3 points. And then this guy, also will die because he's getting closer to this guy no matter what,
Right.
even if he had a choice. And then there's no like there's no advance phase because everybody's still on horseback, I believe. Uh,
Can we dismount? I don't even know.
you can't dismount in advance phase, but you can't because advance is it's that same line of like before when I was talking about the half squad with the leader. They're not pinned because they're not counted as infantry, they're cavalry, and the same applies for advance. Infantry can advance, cavalry cannot. Um,
Got it.
and
So they just can't do anything
yeah,
during the advance phase.
which is also why like when you look at the charge rules and all that, that's why they allow you to dismount. Like you could move, you could charge a unit, get behind them, and dismount so long as you have the movement for it. And that's kind of why, because you can't dismount in the advanced phase. So it's a way to get
Got it.
extra movement
Yeah.
and be able to get off horses. Um, there's no CC because everybody died,
Right.
and then there's not really there's not really much of a point further to the scenario. Uh, Even in the best of worlds, um, if I dismount with this guy, he's still taking a 4 down 4 shot because he'd be dismounting into open ground. I don't think the wagon provides any cover.
Unless you can prep fire and get rid of them, maybe.
I mean, I'll do weather, no change. We'll take off the pin, and then just for you, 7.
Well, I'm just assuming you're gonna roll another 3 or something.
Well, it's a 5 on 7, which is a 2 morale check. So
See what I'm saying?
I'm hoping you'll roll 12s twice.
Right. Big
All
leader.
right. So nothing happens,
Okay.
and then that's basically like I can dismount, right? So the wagon, and now I mean it doesn't matter how I point the gun, but now this guy's marked as TI, which I can't do anything with, and yeah, you'll get a free shot. Even if you choose not to shoot, you can move away. Uh, I mean, I guess
Right. And of course, why would I not shoot? Right. I mean,
well, yeah, there's no reason not to shoot in defensive fire because they're free shots, so you might as well. And then uh, in your turn, on your turn 2, there's no reason not to just exit the board because there's no there's no catch up mechanic for me. I can't I
right,
can't
right.
make up.
I can even, put a unit, sacrifice a unit adjacent to you, so you can't shoot at anybody else, and then everybody else just leaves.
I mean, if I didn't shoot at if I don't shoot at him, I still get a free shot at anybody else. But yes,
Oh, right, right. But then, of
correct. Like
course,
I get
yeah,
one free shot and then that's it. So if I want to take out the 10-2 because he's the best points, well, you're just gonna move
right. And
everybody
I just
else.
move him. I move him last.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
There's nothing.
Watch everybody else leave. Right.
There's nothing you can do. So so I think yeah, I think that's all she wrote. I think there's not much else we can really do for this one. Um,
Well, it's. I think it's fair to say that you are now on a streak of picking fun, but enormously one-sided scenarios.
I don't know. I'll be honest. Round 1 is not an imbalanced scenario. Um,
No, yeah, well, that was imbalanced because I played like poop, so I should, yeah, I shouldn't put that on you. That's unkind.
um, I've been called worse, so that's not. Don't worry about that. But it was very unfair in the sense of like the dice rolls. That for sure, like the start of that game was nonsense. Um, in terms of
Yeah, it felt worse than the scenario probably is. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
and if you also like rock paper scissors, what was your defensive plan? What was my attacking plan? That was also aligned pretty poorly for me as well. So,
Mm-hmm. Uh,
which is just good play on your part.
but but yeah, it's not necessarily wrong in the like the selection of scenarios is very rocky, I think is the best way to put it. Because we did have Bidgosht coup, which was the one where like you had the wagons that I had to try and capture, and you could
Yeah,
spawn
which
all
was
those reinforcements.
very unbalanced against you with the random reinforcements for the poles, right?
And then we did Will to Fight Eradicated, which is it's slightly in favor of the Poles. That there's no denying that one, but I didn't really feel like that one was too crazy. Um, I think the split
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was a hopeless fight either way. No, I would agree
yeah,
with you there. Yeah.
that I think was just more a split defense thing. Round one last time, I think that one's fairly balanced. It just the dice really, and then this one was was kind of a
Which was
crapshoot.
which was yeah, yeah. It's just the height of goofiness. Like you're taking morale checks with every shot you fire. It's you can't have two bad rolls or the game's over,
That's
and
right.
your wagons are helpless.
That's right. And then I think I don't think it's worth starting tonight. I am pretty pooped, unfortunately. I had a really long day, but
Yeah,
um,
I agree with you, and we wouldn't get to play at all anyway, right? We'd have to set the thing
we'd
up.
get a turn in maybe.
Yeah.
But the next scenario, I do think follows the up and down nature of selection. I don't think it's necessarily a great scenario. And we'll see. I'll be able to explain more next week. But I think if I'm gonna give a little teaser for people here, um, if you happen to have assault on Fort 9 or Fort X, which I'm pretty sure is not how it's called, um, but if anybody has access to assault on Fort 9, it is a Fnatic Enterprise scenario from the Polish pack. We've seen a lot of that pack, but we're getting near the end of it, so it's not like it's the end of the world, and I think it's still worth looking at. It does have a requirement for the Germans to take pillboxes, and those pillboxes can set up anywhere. And I think that in and of itself is going to speak volumes on the difference between a scenario where you can set up the objective anywhere you want and this scenario, the Bloody Saber, where you were forced to set up everything in a predetermined manner.
That's right.
Because
Yeah, I think a comment on this game that says it all is that I actually set up your pieces for the game.
it's true. It's true. Um, So yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully, unless there's some scheduling issue, which I hope I'm not jinxing myself here. I'm just gonna knock
Yeah,
on
knock
wood.
wood. So far, we're on a roll.
Exactly, exactly. We're making good progress into the whole project here. So should be back next week on Monday for Assault on Fort 9. Should have a fun scenario lined up on Saturday. So until then, I will see you later. Bye.